What is going on, guys? Grave here today. I'd like to talk about the Season of the Worm Cult story. ZOS put a recent article out talking kind of about how they wanted to make this a direct, true sequel to the original base game story, which is a very interesting and unique thing considering it's been so long since that original story came out 10 years ago. And it is, of course, like all the rest of the game's stories and quests and things, just done really well, written really well. The team always does a great job. The writing team at ZOS does an incredible job on all of their stories. But for me personally, that one is one that stands out. That original story, if you've never played it, if you're brand new to the game, believe me, it's a great one, especially when you get down towards the end, the last few missions or chapters that you go through there. It's a really, really good story. So they wanted to kind of build upon that, and I thought that was a very unique idea. When they put this article out, I thought it was a really good read. So they talked about wanting to do something special, a story that revisited and built upon the original main story. And of course, a lot of this is coming from the narrative director. And so they wanted to a better enemy to bring back than the nefarious worm cult. So they came up with a story that builds on the launch game narrative and continues a tale as a true sequel. It says, while creating a sequel to ESO's base game presented some challenges, the team also enjoyed the new opportunities. It says, in our previous chapters and DLCs, we couldn't assume that the player had done any particular content. However, because Season of the Worm Cult was conceived as a sequel, they could have characters refer to those events and set a new story on top of that pedestal. Of course, you don't need to have completed the original story, they went on to say, to play Season of the Worm Cult, but veteran players who have confronted Molag Bal and Cold Harbor will enjoy the continuation of that narrative. They also said they made sure to do their best to bring new players along in a natural way, so it was fun to actually get to advance the timeline a bit in order to tell this new story. It says, in addition to the first part of the New Year-long saga, there's also no shortage of standalone quests and stories that you can discover as you explore Western Solstice here in just a couple weeks, or of course next month when the first part of this DLC will drop. He said, I think players will enjoy the story about the new Aragonian culture. Now, of course, this new zone is split between elves. Some are, they talk about, are sea elves. Of course, the newer Aragonian characters we have not met in previous installments of the game. You have a lot of that culture, and even I talked about this in a past video, even the agriculture of the buildings and just what the way the map or the zone is laid out is something completely different. When you have two different kind of cultures there combining, it makes for just the way that the zone is laid out, from the trees to the land to even the buildings looking different. So this is something I think is a very unique and neat idea. I think it was also a really neat idea to go back and, of course, fight against the worm cult again, of course, led by that formerly well-known King Manamarco. So I think it's just a very unique and interesting idea to actually be able to go back and have a continuation of that story. And also they're bringing along characters like they have in the past from other stuff we've played, so within the games. They're bringing those characters back to kind of help you out during this Season of the Worm Cult. But the great thing here is, in my opinion, is it's not just those normal characters that you expect to see, the ones that we've had in past chapter DLC stories. These are going to be some characters, they said, that kind of got left behind, that they wanted to have kind of come back into the light and help you out, get some more attention to those certain characters that they've had or have created in the game throughout the years. So I think that is a very cool and unique idea, the way they have approached this. I'm really interested to see this story continued. If you have not played that base game story, you still, of course, have time to play that if you're brand new to the game, or if you're a returning player, if you don't really remember, exactly what all went on. But it's definitely something that you definitely need to pick up and play, because it's a really, really good one. But like they said, it's not something that you'd have to have played in order to understand what's going on when Season of the Worm Cult Part 1 drops here in just a few weeks. Leave me a comment with your thoughts about this. Are you interested in them doing some more sequels to some of the stories maybe in-game going forward? I think this, like I said, it's going to be hard to always do that, but this one was something I think that should have been done maybe sooner than now even, because this is a really, really unique take on something that we've had in the game for a really long time. Of course, if you like the video, hit the like. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.